Hey there, and howdy to all y'all good people out there in football land. This here is, and I am, your old cousin Scotty with another tasty bag of pigskin picks. I don't even want to talk about last week. Still hurts too much. Folks, we're in week 12 of another crazy college football season, and like y'all saw last week, anything goes. Normally at the end of my show, I tell y'all that I ain't responsible for none of y'all's betting losses. Well, let me tell you, last week is the very reason I don't bet. Can't win for losing. Well, I love college football. It's a game that's still pretty honest for the most part, and the young men playing it do it because they love it. The teams on the field don't even matter. Tennessee to Tulsa, Georgia to California, Wisconsin to West Virginia. They all fun to watch. At the beginning of every season, some bunch of yahoos gets together and somehow ranks all them teams. All in all, none of them rankings means a thing. If they did, Alabama would be defending national champs. Ohio State and Alabama would be playing for the title again this year. But don't tell Clemson Bama was supposed to be the champs. And where's Ohio State? Sitting with 2 losses at number 9. Number 1, Georgia got beat. How'd they even get there? Can Alabama win out? They struggle but keep winning. A wise man one time said, "This is why we play the game." So let's get to it. Here we go. LSU versus Tennessee. Coach Oat and the Tigers will head to K-Town for a cross-conference showdown on Saturday evening. A very temporary head coach, Brady Hoke, will have exactly 6.5 days of preparation for his debut. Normally, this is a really good day for a new coach. But when you are thrust into a temp job that you really don't want, with a team that plays dead at home and gets killed on the road, and you done been responsible for half of that team, newsflash, it's going to be a bad day. The good news for UT and Coach Hoke, they ain't but 2 games left, and they could win one of them. Not this one. The Tigers is hungry for a better bowl game than last year, and this week will help them get there. Tennessee will volunteer to play victim this week and should be real good at it. They have some experience. Cousin Scotty's pick, LSU. Virginia versus Miami. The Cavaliers will march their way down to Coral Gables to engage in another ACC battle. At least that's what them gentlemen's had on their minds anyway. But Miami done blowed out Notre Dame last week in a game they were supposed to lose. But who forgot to tell the Canes? They had looked real beatable the previous 2 weeks, then bam! They beat the Irish like they was a high school team. So who's Virginia? From my chair, they're a mediocre team with some bad losses to weak teams, and their only quality win is over Georgia Tech. So to answer the last question, UV is going to be one of 2 good practice dummies for Miami to beat up on until they get to play Clemson in the ACC Championship. Will Miami be tested this week or next week? Nah. That's why old cousin Scotty's pick is Miami. Let's go out west a little bit. How about Hawaii versus Utah State? The Rainbow Warriors will hop an eastbound jet to Salt Lake City and then drive about 85 miles north up to Logan. Look, this show is educational if nothing else. Facing the Aggies can be a tough row to hoe, and doing it jet lagged ain't going to be no fun. So how will the Technicolor Army handle the North Utah Farm Boys? My guess is they going to get plowed. The Ags are going to get back to a bowl this year, having missed out last year, after a very dreadful season. In other words, they bought the farm. Anyway, the muscle-bound tattoo parlor billboards are going to spend a bunch of money to get to Utah. They ain't going to see the Mormon temple or get to hear the choir sing. They're going to get beat late Saturday afternoon and go home empty-handed. I hope at least they brung some of them good pineapples to show some friendship to the home folks. Cousin Scotty's pick, Utah State. Well, let's get back down to the South where football ain't just life. It's way more important than that. SMU versus Memphis. Y'all, this one could be fun. The Mustangs will gallop into Liberty Bowl Stadium in Memphis about noon on Saturday and try to hold that tiger. They're sitting at 6-4, and they got no real chance of winning the American West Conference. The North Dallas Pony Herd is going to try to improve their bowl prospects, though. Stop. Wait a minute. Are we forgetting something here? Oh, yeah. The American West first place team, Tigers. They are 8-1 and working toward a major bowl. Memphis is hotter than Tom Lee Park right now. You know, that's where they have that big barbecue shindig every year. Sadly, for me, still no pigskins, and we a long way from May, and I'm hungry. Oh well, moving on. The Mustangs might grab that tiger by the tail. Too bad they forgot there's teeth on the other end. When tigers is a-hunting, they will knock down the victim from behind and clamp down on the neck. Same thing Saturday. Y'all might not want to let the little kids watch this one, carnage and all. It's going to be worse than them first-person shoot-'em-up games y'all play. You know, Dad, the Zombie Blitz, Duty, Strike, Gunner, whatever. So as you might have guessed, Cousin Scotty's pick, Memphis. All right, time out. We need to take a look at what's happening in the CFP top 6 teams this week. All right, I'm going to call this Wuss Week at the top. Come on. Mercer at Alabama. It's going to be more like murder at Alabama. The Citadel at Clemson. Clem won't even need his son to beat this team. We already talked about the Cavalier Massacre in Miami. Oh, look, one of the teams is going to go on the road. Oklahoma will circle the wagons to go slaughter an already near-dead Jayhawk. 4 games, and number 1 through 4 should all win by no less than 35 points, or be real ashamed of their performance if they don't. Finally, a game that might actually matter. You got the number 24 Michigan Wolverines, second in the Big Ten East, against the number 5 Wisconsin Badgers, number 1 in the Big Ten West. This one should end as ranked, or it will destroy Wisconsin's hopes and dreams. Louisiana Monroe at Auburn. The Tigers are a 37-point favorite in this one. Any closer and Malzahn should have to room with Aubie for a month. Georgia fell out of the top spot and landed 7th, about the most harsh penalty for a loss this year. With a Wisconsin loss, the Dogs could move back up 1 spot. And hey, next week all hell could break loose again, so it sure makes things interesting. Well, last but not least, we got Kentucky versus Georgia. The Lynx Rufus from Lexington will sneak into Sanford Stadium in Athens on Saturday and try to spoil one more week of the Dogs' season. Back home and between the hedges and with a home crowd backing you, you can change a game up and help you refocus after a loss. Georgia got what they'd been given all year last week, and it still burns some. The Cats are coming off a really good win at Vandy, playing in their home away from home, as it were, with more blue and white fans in attendance than black and gold by double. This is normal, however, in Nashville. The Cats have a great fan base and will follow them anywhere. Nashville and Athens are 2 of their fan favorites. What's not to love? You got 2 great cities, 2 great schools, and 2 great Kentucky rivals. Most likely 2 very different outcomes here, though. If the Cats want to win this one, they maybe ought to call Auburn. The Dogs are hungry and drooling for some tasty kitty since they didn't get none last week. Ugga once told me that there's a whole bunch of ways to skin a cat, but every one of them's fun. Well, I'm going to sit back and take his word for it and watch and see just how many he uses on them cats this week. I'm guessing the Cats will scratch the Dogs up a bit, but since they're licking last week's wounds, it could be somewhat effective. But this dog's tough. It's got real thick skin. Scratching won't hurt much. Heck, it might even feel good. And the Dogs only scratch fleas. They bite you on the neck. So Cousin Scotty's pick, moving to 10-1, Georgia. Well, folks, we done got to the bottom of this bag of picks. Stop, we got to have a PSA time here. Betting's dumb, don't do it, and I ain't responsible. Y'all remember life's too short to sit around to fuss and worry all the time. So go watch some college football, call some friends over and make it a party. Heck, call me, I'll come over, we'll make it a real party. I hope y'all had fun watching. I had fun doing it this week. I'll be back next week with one last regular season edition of Cousin Scotty. Then it's off to the postseason. And one way or another, I'm going to get me some hot pork rinds before this year's over. A good brother recently told me I was obsessed. I disagreed. I told him it was a quest. I thank you for watching. God bless y'all and God bless America.